Donald Trump sent Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent over to Switzerland to meet with Chinese representatives to negotiate an end to this trade war that Donald Trump started. Remember, at the beginning of Donald Trump's term, he started with like a 10% tariff on China, and it has escalated all the way up to 145%. Every time China raises tariffs, Donald Trump comes back with an even higher number. So now everything coming from China costs 145% more than it did at the beginning of his term. And he's trying to come to some kind of a resolution here because we're already hearing about how ships coming with cargo from China are going to start hitting ports, having the tariff put on. They're not coming nearly as full, not as much as coming. Some shipments have just been canceled entirely. Um, Things are going to start getting more expensive and shelves are going to start to be empty. So they're going to want to try to fix this as fast as possible. So Donald Trump comes out on True Social and says they've basically reached a deal and there's going to be a total reset with China. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean we're going to go back to zero tariffs the way it was at the beginning of his term or whatever that percentage was when Donald Trump took over. I don't know. I don't know if Donald Trump knows. I think he's just trying to manufacture and claim a victory here to make it sound like there's progress. Now, they did talk for over 8 hours, and then on Sunday, they are going to have even more talks and more negotiations. We'll have to see how those play out. For their part, China is not coming out and saying what's going on, what concessions are being made. So it doesn't sound like there's much in the way of concessions because the Trump administration is not screaming at the top of their lungs about the concessions being made. So it seems like it's just going to go back to the status quo. We're going to bring things back down. Now, earlier in the week, Donald Trump tried passing it off to Treasury Secretary Bessent, I believe, um, about bringing the tariffs down to 80%, saying, well, it's up to him. Well, it's not. Donald Trump has control over what that tariff percentage is, at least in the short term. Congress would have to approve them long term. I'm not sure what that number is for how long before Congress has to approve to keep them in place. I think it's 5 months. Um, but then his Commerce Secretary Lutnick came out and said, well, they think Donald Trump may end up settling somewhere around 34% on China, and that would be good. Now, it's not good because that's going to cause everything to be more expensive. We know this. It's not bringing manufacturing back, and even if it did, that manufacturing is not going to pop up overnight. It takes years to build factories. It's going to take a long time to build that infrastructure, and in the meantime, things are just going to be more expensive or shelves are going to be empty. It is going to cripple the economy. So we'll see what ultimately this deal comes out to be. But he says it's going to be a total reset. So we'll see if that takes us back to where we were at the beginning of his term, how the markets react, and if it does increase shipping or not.